now recording.
Okay, yeah, it was a big breakfast. I had pancakes, bacon, sausage rolls, and 2 chicken hot dogs.
That is a big breakfast.
I spread it out over like 4 hours. But I got up really early today.
So more of a breakfast feast then.
Yeah, well, I watched a movie about the medieval ages, and they had feasts. So I thought I should have a feast.
We went to...
That noise is going to be on there.
Good call.
Just close the door. We could keep it rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
We went to McDonald's for breakfast this morning.
Who did you go with?
Ethan.
Some of the listeners?
I think our first listener and our second listener,
Oh.
Ethan, Evan, and I went to McDonald's.
Name dropping.
Yeah. Shout out to... I think Ethan was our first subscriber.
And our only one. I think the other person did it by mistake.
Well, we have more than 2 now.
Is one of them Catherine?
I think we have 5.
One was probably Catherine.
Anyway, we went to McDonald's.
That's
and
good.
I had my first ever McGriddle.
McGriddle.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It was okay.
Yeah. Well, everything at McDonald's is okay.
I think I prefer the English muffin.
I like the English muffin because it gets charred bits sometimes.
The McGriddle doesn't give me any resistance.
Well, nothing at McDonald's offers much resistance.
I feel like
its core group of customers are 90 plus.
I got the McGriddle out and I unwrapped it and I said, "What's this? Is this a podcast? Welcome to episode... What episode are we in?"
You killed it. That was a good segue. You killed it. This is episode between 4 and 9.
Welcome to episode between 4 and 9.
We better introduce ourselves. I'm Adam.
Yeah, and I'm Jeff.
And if you can't differentiate between us, too bad.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If you can't differentiate between us, it's probably because we are one person talking to ourselves in a padded cell.
I'd listen to that podcast.
That would be actually, I think, a really good podcast.
Like the Joker from the movie Joker.
I just saw that movie recently.
Oh, did you like it?
I think I ranked it fifth best movie I've seen this year.
How many movies have you seen this year?
I think around like 15 or 20.
Well, top quarter.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there.
I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was an excellent movie.
It was surprisingly devoid of superpowers, which happens to be our topic for today.
Killing it. Yeah, we were going to do a topic on Steam, but I overate today and didn't have time to move to learn about Steam. So we needed to pick a subject I could talk about without preparation, and that is superpowers, because I have a lot of opinions on superpowers.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay, well, do you have a hot take?
I don't have a hot take, but I think anyone that picks invisibility as a superpower is a secret voyeur.
Oh yeah, invisibility is the pervert power.
Yeah, and flying, you don't want to fly. All that wind resistance.
Well,
come on.
You don't want to fly?
I don't want to fly. I'm scared of heights.
Well, that's just your personal...
Plus, you go high up, you can't breathe. Just because you can fly doesn't mean you're Superman.
Okay, so we may as well then start with I feel like the classic superpowers question, which is if you could have a superpower.
Yeah. Which
superpower would it be?
Does it have to be one of the traditional, or can I pick a non-traditional superpower that I made up?
I think you could do whatever you want.
That's good. The superpower I would want is the ability to eat anything I want and have no adverse health effects.
That's a good power.
Like, I could eat, like, a whole pie and bacon and eggs and a pizza, and I wouldn't gain weight, and I wouldn't die of cholesterol.
I would like...
But the catch is, I don't start at an ideal weight. But I can lose weight by going into a calorie deficit. But when would I ever do that?
So why would you add a caveat to your own
Because power? It's like supreme gluttony.
So there has to be something to balance out
my
the sin?
superpower is essentially a deadly sin.
That's pretty good. I feel like that's a responsible power.
Yeah, well, not responsible.
But, so, if you want to get into
I would eat so much food. Like, we're going for eating after this. And
going for eating.
And I'm not hungry, and I'm going to eat a lot.
So, just to reiterate, the power is you can eat whatever you want with no adverse health effects.
Yeah, like, no, I won't gain weight. I don't feel like a blob. I don't, like, crap my pants after, like, Mexican food or, like, whatever the other stuff. Chinese food at a mall food court.
So, what if you morally obligated to clean up waste because of that power.
What do you mean waste?
Well, you can eat whatever.
Waste?
You can eat whatever you want with no adverse effects.
Yeah,
right? To your body.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you could eat all of the world's garbage, and single-handedly solve one of the biggest.
I think the amount of garbage is so. Can I get paid for that?
You could clean up oil spills by drinking the oil.
Yeah, this superpower took a turn to the. I would do it. Like, I would just add some paprika.
Some paprika to the oil.
A little S&P.
I think you'd have to add some hot sauce. I think that's the only thing that really matters.
I don't like hot sauce on most things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, maybe it's just I just don't have good hot sauce right now. What would your ideal superpower be?
My ideal superpower would be a very specific kind of immortality.
Okay.
It's not necessarily this, but say I could only be killed by...
A snail?
No, yeah, sure, by a snail. Something, because I would like to have the option to die.
Okay, so... Because this always confuses me about immortality. If you're immortal, at what year do you stop aging? Because Elrond is over 2,000 years old, and he looks like he's in his 40s.
Usually how it works with that kind of immortality, fantasy immortality, is that it's more accurate to say that those types of creatures age much more slowly than humans. Their bodies physically age more slowly.
So is that the immortality you're looking for, or do you just want to become shriveled up?
I mean, that, but also I can only be killed by a snail. Or something specific and not, that I would encounter.
But what if, so you're immortal, it's 300 years from now, and obviously the world's dead. No snails.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen in 300 years.
Come on, we're done for.
Well, maybe I can be... maybe I choose something more accessible than, I could always choose to take my own life.
Okay. Okay, how about... Okay, I like that. What if it's a snail that's always trying to get you?
This is from a...
I read it somewhere.
This is originally from the Rooster Teeth podcast.
They did that?
From the premise, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Archie. I never listened to it.
Do you know... have you heard of Rooster Teeth?
Is Rooster Teeth the Kevin Smith thing?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's like an internet production company.
Well, I didn't know.
They make comedy, mostly.
I would like to... I think a good game for this podcast today is ruining superpowers with caveats.
Okay.
So, invisibility, but only when, someone's looking at you, or someone, no one's looking, or things like that.
So the idea...
Or only when you're naked, or something like that. And then if someone looks right at you, you appear again.
So the idea for the person choosing the power is to come up with one that is...
No, the idea is for one to come up with a power and the other to ruin it with a weird caveat.
Okay. My power is bulletproof.
Only against antique guns.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Okay, so my power would be invisibility.
Only when you are screaming.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, because it completely ruins the whole purpose of invisibility.
Where's that noise coming from? Oh, it's over there.
Ah!
And what? It's like the man Mystery Man. He's invisible only when he's naked and no one's looking. Is that the thing?
He's invisible as long as nobody's looking at him. Is his power, I think.
I wouldn't mind that.
There was one day that I watched that movie 3 or 4 times in a row.
That's too many times to watch Mystery Man.
It's pretty good, though.
It's good, but I don't remember it well enough. I've only watched a handful of movies, in the same day.
What's the most superhero movies you've watched in a day?
I don't know, probably 2 or 3 in a day.
Mm.
Because usually I watch superhero movies a lot.
There was one day, again, Ethan and Evan and I, we had decided to marathon all of the Marvel movies. And I think this was right around when Black Panther came out.
Okay. And
we quickly decided there are too many Marvel movies to marathon.
Yeah, there's 3 days worth.
Yeah, it's way too many.
I don't... So does Black Panther have superpowers, or is he just strong?
No, he
drank a flower.
Yeah, that's where he gets his powers from.
Do you think they'd wear off by now?
Oh, it's the same thing as like Captain America.
I wish I had some, because he's got a good metabolism. He probably eat whatever he wants.
He probably does eat whatever he wants, but he probably eats healthy.
He doesn't need to. He's got good metabolism. That's referenced in the first Captain America. When he says he can't get drunk because his metabolism is so high.
I can't imagine Captain America sitting down and eating like an entire package of hot dogs.
I didn't eat an entire package. I ate 2. They were really big. They were really, really big. What else can we talk about for superpowers? What's the worst superpower?
The worst, like, conventional superpower? Or...
Yeah, I think it's invisibility.
Well, there's that character from X-Men whose power is that she makes fireworks.
That's not a superpower.
That's her power.
That's a novelty.
That's her superpower.
Did someone's, like, cousin make that? And the writer was like, okay, fine, we'll put it in. There's
a lot of X-Men characters like that have kind of dumb powers.
Like, I like when... I saw this on the internet. It was when Rogue was saying she wants the cure for mutants.
Yeah.
And someone's like, no, you're perfect the way you are. She touches people and kills them. That's her mutant power.
Well, only mutants.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want to not kill people? No, she kills her boyfriend at the start of the first one.
Oh.
Yeah, they were making...
I guess I don't really know what Rogue's power is.
She drains the person's like life force.
But doesn't she also get their power if they're...
Yeah, but if they don't have them, he just kills them.
Uh-oh.
So she wants the cure.
The most dangerous bang.
Yeah, and Halle Berry says you're perfect the way you are. You don't need a cure. Oh, well, just wear gloves. She can't touch people. It gets sweaty in there, I bet. Maybe not getting sweaty would be a good superpower.
That would be a kind of... It wouldn't be the best power.
It wouldn't be the worst. Like, the X-Men who make it to Xavier's school, they have the obvious powers.
Yeah.
Like speed and inexplicably changing the weather when you're pissed off.
Right.
And metal bones. But there's got to be people in that
Just to be clear, metal bones is not Wolverine's superpower.
Sure it is.
No, that's not his power.
His power is he's angry and smokes cigars.
Yeah. That's just Hugh Jackman's superpower.
Yeah. I thought it was his dreamy eyes.
Do you think it's a coincidence that Hugh Jackman's name also sounds like Huge Jacked Man?
I didn't think of that until this day.
I think of that every time I hear his name.
Huge Jacked Man. Maybe it's a stage name.
It might be a stage name.
So, as I was saying...
Oh, so you don't care about Huge Jacked Man?
I don't care. Well, if he's a listener, we'll circle back.
Okay.
But there's got to be those people in the X-Men universe who have superpowers, but they just don't know it's a superpower. Like maybe that person that can eat anything they want exists in that world.
There is an X-Men character who can eat anything they want, but it is not without adverse effects.
Who is it?
The character's mutant name is the Blob.
Oh.
And there's a movie that the Blob is in.
Which movie?
It's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, I remember that guy. He was pretty good at the start, and then he was not.
Well, he gets really fat.
He can eat whatever he wants. That's not his power.
That's his power.
He just eats?
He can eat whatever he wants. I'm pretty sure.
He punched a tank.
Well, maybe he's strong.
There's probably a guy in the X-Men universe who every time he blinks, like, the traffic lights change. And he just doesn't realize that he's doing it.
Well, I mean, did you ever watch the animated X-Men series?
No, I was poor.
There was a guy on there whose power was he was just like half toad.
Which half? Bottom?
No, like fully half.
What does that mean?
Like he was a toad man.
Like down the middle?
I feel like you're deliberately choosing to be obtuse about this.
Wait. Kind of like Beast?
Yeah, but
he's half man, half blue?
Yeah, but this guy was a toad man.
What did he do for work?
He was one of Magneto's henchmen.
Well, that guy was in the first X-Men.
Oh, yeah, the Bryan Singer one, right?
Yeah, and what's her name? Storm electrocuted him.
That's kind of a lame power.
I don't know, that's a pretty good power. You can turn the lights off from your bed. Do you think that Batman has superpowers?
No, he doesn't have superpowers.
Do you think being in that shared superpower universe...
You can't absorb powers like osmosis.
Can you?
Does Osmosis Jones have superpowers?
Yeah. He fights crime in the bloodstream.
No, Batman...
What about Iron Man?
Also does not have...
It's inexplicable that Iron Man has never been killed by a punch. He's got to have gut.
Well, that's how comic books work.
He's got to have like a concussion every time.
You can invent whatever fake technology to protect him from, like,
Okay,
force and
here's
stuff.
one. Does Hawkeye have superpowers?
Absolutely not.
He never misses.
He's just a really skilled archer.
You can't practice and get that good.
You could go to the Summer Olympics and find 3 Hawkeyes, I'm sure.
Oh, Hawkeye moves. He doesn't have the apparatus around his face.
But if you took that person and dedicated them and paid them to be a military personnel with a bow and arrow, I'm sure they'd get good enough.
Oh, but Hawkeye fought aliens.
You
think an Olympic archer is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fight
I think he for sure
I'm
should
going to fight the Chitauri.
If Marvel was an an adult-oriented franchise, more than a family-oriented franchise, Hawkeye would be dead, but so long dead. He would have died in the first Avengers.
He wouldn't have even participated.
No, he would have been the token death character.
Well, he would have been like, yeah, sure, we'll bring him. He'll just die.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that guy Dave. Or what was the guy in the new Deadpool where he was just a guy who wanted to hang out with the team?
Well, that was when they were recruiting, and he was just an accountant or something.
Yeah.
Didn't he get put in a wood chipper or something like that?
No, the one with the vomit got put in the wood chipper and then burned that guy.
Burn Dave?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what about Black Widow? Does that have superpowers?
No superpowers.
Does anyone in the Marvel Universe even have superpowers?
Thor has superpowers.
He's just a god. That's not a superpower.
He's a superpowered individual. Okay, he doesn't have powers because he's a god.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Hulk has superpowers.
Oh, he's just real strong.
Yeah, but he's got powers.
Like I don't know.
He's got powers in the same way that any X-Men character has powers.
No, he's just really strong.
He's a mutant. He's mutated.
Oh yeah, he's mutant.
Yeah.
Freak.
Who else?
That's all of them, I think.
Who else? Who's else is on the event? Scarlet Witch has superpowers.
She's a mutant. Oh man.
Oh, she's a mutant. So is her brother. Fast Boy.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
No. Fast
I
Man.
think they call him Double Cast.
Who was the better Quicksilver?
What was the other movie that he was in?
Quicksilver?
Oh, the X-Men Quicksilver. The X-Men franchise Quicksilver is way better than Marvel franchise Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just because he's actually still alive.
Spoiler.
If anybody hasn't seen Age of Ultron by now, first off, if I can just go on a rant for a second.
Oh, rant it up.
Spoilers are not a thing.
Well, it's not like Santa Claus. They exist.
They exist. But if a movie is made worse because you know the plot, it's not a good movie.
Oh, I don't agree.
That's my stance.
You completely agree?
I completely agree with myself. That's my stance, and I.
Actually, I was watching Get Out again, and that scene when the guy in the stupid sun hat gets his camera picture taken, and he goes out of the sunken place for a second. The first time I watched it, that part blew me away.
Yeah.
The second time I watched it, it similarly blew me away. So maybe you're right.
A movie should only be made, or any good story should only be made better by knowing the details of the plot, because then you can pick up on all of the dramatic irony.
That's
what
repeat viewing is for.
Right, but if
you only watch a movie once,
if a movie is only good the first time you see it, then it's not a good movie. And based on that, if I can get even further away from superpowers,
that's just
Unusual Suspects is not a good movie.
Oh no, that movie's not that good.
It's not a good movie at all.
It
is good the first time you watch it, but it is not a good movie.
It was fine. Are we allowed to watch it anymore?
Yeah, you can watch it.
Well, it's got Spacey in it.
And you can...
Because it's got Spacey and Bryan Singer. Aren't they both, mega sex molesters?
Is Bryan Singer a sex molester?
Yeah, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
He's the guy who made X-Men.
There's so many these days. Who can keep track of all the Hollywood sex molesters?
I didn't bring my list with me.
There was a guy... I don't want to get into that.
We're not going to talk about the sex molesters?
I don't want to get this any closer towards politics.
Oh no, I'm not equipped to talk about politics. Whenever I go to my in-laws' house to talk about politics, I just sit quietly. As opposed to the other times I go there where I just sit quietly.
I think a good superpower would be to be able to physically go to your happy place.
Like physically, not just in your mind?
You could, so maybe more spiritually. You could leave your own body nobody knows you're there.
So then I could eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
In my happy place.
And your body that's remaining behind would kind of act like, a replicant of you. So nobody would know you're there.
This is like Inception.
So you could escape any social situation by going to your happy place. By literally going to your happy place.
What would your happy place be? Maybe let's not get into those.
It would be pretty sweet. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
I would that's a good superpower.
Yeah.
I like that
I think that's my new, if I could have any power.
Okay, so what about if you had the ability to time travel as a superpower?
Yeah.
And time for whatever, like when you go back and mess with shit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change things. So you can go back and do whatever you want. Where would you go?
Where would I go?
Yeah.
Can I move in space and time, or just time?
I don't care.
So yes, I can move in space and time.
What's the difference?
Well, am I
Where
going
would
back,
you go if the answer was no?
so I can only move in time?
Yeah.
Well, then I would only be able to go to, a certain year in the history of this exact location.
Oh, you mean like space, as in you go to a different place?
Yeah.
Not as in like.
Not as in outer space.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can move in both. No, just time. Where are you gonna go in Calgary?
Maybe I think it'd be cool to go back to the very founding, the early days of Calgary, when Fort Calgary was being founded, and see, give you some perspective on how far it's come.
I had this conversation with my wife earlier today, and she wanted to go to a lot of historical places.
Yeah.
And I said that's probably not a good idea, especially Egypt. She said she wanted to go see the pyramids.
Well, because she's a woman.
She's a woman. Well, you can't go.
I think if someone from the present were to... Well, do you appear to other people in the past?
Well, we discussed this at length. You have like a tracker that it's like a... She created the hypothetical where it's like a travel agency and they send you back in time. So you have a device that brings you back.
But are you there as...
You're physically there.
But are you only there as an observer, or can you interact with the world?
You can interact, because time is not linear.
But your actions don't cause consequences in your own timeline?
No, because that's stupid and it makes it hard.
So you're creating pocket universes.
Well, the butterfly effect doesn't work here.
I think if someone... So the people see you appear out of nowhere, right?
Well, you appear in the stall of a bathroom.
What if you travel to ancient Egypt?
Well, they got bathrooms.
They don't have bathroom stalls.
You know.
Well,
it's all in ruins.
I'm not an archaeologist, so I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that ancient Egyptians didn't have bathroom stalls.
Then you appear somewhere discreet.
Well, I don't know. I think that the present day is not worse than the past. Which is a dumb way of saying that...
Why couldn't you have just said the present is better than the past?
I think that the stuff we have now is much better than the stuff that they had before.
But they didn't know what they were missing.
So going to the past is just kind of like a novelty of seeing how people used to live.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do that, you can just go to a museum.
But you
don't really need to time travel.
You just ruined.
But I also endorse museums. Time travel exists already in the form of museums.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a museum and looked at the ancient stuff?
Yeah.
It's nothing like being there because it's air conditioned behind glass.
That's very true.
And you see the little spearhead. It's like an inch long.
Yeah, but use your imagination.
I don't have a very good imagination.
Well,
actually, I have an incredibly good imagination.
And you're very humble.
No, I'm not.
Where would you go in the past?
I wouldn't. I thought about it the whole time we were having the conversation.
That is the lamest answer. How dare you?
I couldn't
go to the past.
I couldn't think of a single place I wanted to go. At first I thought maybe I'll go to a historic sporting event. And then my wife's like, go see Babe Ruth? No, then you gotta wear a wool suit in the summer to go see a baseball game in whatever the 20s. I
would go back however many years ago to that Flames game where Brian McGrattan got in a fight and then saluted the audience and looked into the audience with a Vietnam stare that signified everything that it is to play that position.
I don't know where I would go back. What's the point?
I think I'm not interested in his time travel tourism.
I think it would be wildly popular, and I hope one day I can profit from it.
I think it would be as popular as tourism generally is now.
So immensely?
Well, there are some people who never travel.
There's a lot of people who travel.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot who travel. But
And think about how elite time travel
it'd be really
tourism
expensive.
would be.
It'd be very expensive.
I'd be a millionaire.
Well, you wouldn't be because you can't. Not to dig on you, I don't envision a future where you're the one who comes up with the technology.
No, I'm not the technology guy. I'm the... I would have no part in this business.
I mean, you might work in the HR department for the company.
Yeah, I can work in HR.
But you're just going to get paid an HR salary.
Yeah, but I bet you the HR people at Google make pretty good money.
Are they, or are they just another set of contractors who are underpaid and undervalued?
I bet you what's a private big company?
Is Tesla private?
I don't know.
I think it's
no,
not.
Tesla's
I think
not
it's
private.
publicly traded.
Well, the HR people at the big private company, they probably make good money. Wayne Enterprises.
Is the R&D department at Wayne Enterprises just like Fox and Bruce Wayne?
Well, who's building everything?
Like, they gotta know, right?
Like, Fox is like 90.
Well, he's like 70 or something.
Well, who built, like... Yeah, there's gotta be some subcontractors.
There's some big, you know...
They probably make good money.
They must.
You gotta pay them off so they don't talk about all that.
Because otherwise, what does Batman physically build all of his gadgets himself?
Well, in the first one, he was building the Batarangs.
But I can't imagine...
What do you think, he wholesale orders them? And the person making is like, I wonder who these are for.
So you're telling me that, if we're just narrowing this down to Nolan's trilogy...
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne...
Yeah.
Sits in the Batcave...
Yeah.
For several hours a day...
Yeah.
To smith from scratch metal batarangs.
Yeah, but like he keeps them, so he whips it and he goes and
he
gets
doesn't
it.
go and get them.
Yeah, he
There's no way.
He's using a magnet and he's picking them up one by one.
Do you remember at the start of Dark Knight where he's breaking up the drug deal with Scarecrow?
Yeah.
And he's on the side of that van and he has that wrist saw?
Yeah.
And it goes, he like saws in and then it breaks and blows up and knocks him off?
Yeah.
What was the point of that?
I don't know. I guess Batman needs better subcontractors.
And then they did that American Psycho homage moment.
What's that moment?
Well, he gets knocked off the van, and then instead of chasing the van, he just stands at the top of
yeah, like the chainsaw.
and he drops that. My friend pointed that out to me last time I watched that
I don't
movie.
think that's an homage to...
Shout out to Ethan.
Psycho.
It's very similar to that scene.
Yeah, but no one dies.
Well, that's because it's Batman.
But does anyone die in
An
American
homage is
Psycho?
not a direct replication. It's just a tribute.
No, it's direct replication. It's more of a tip of the hat.
What I know is, it's not the greatest song in the world. It's just a tribute. Oh, yeah.
I got the new Disney Plus app.
That was the appropriate response to
Yeah.
that.
And I noticed the Goofy movie is on Disney Plus.
Uh-oh.
But not the sequel.
The sequel is, I think, the good one, right?
The Extreme. Well, that's the argument that's been had over the past month or so.
Yeah.
Is that the extremely Goofy movie is better than the Goofy movie. What is Goofy?
Does Goofy have superpowers?
I think anyone in the Disney universe has superpowers.
Do the Looney Tunes characters have superpowers?
Absolutely they do.
Because they can be injured and not...
An anvil falls on Coyote's head. And the welt is strong enough to push the anvil off his head. That's a superpower.
Wow, that's a sweet power.
Yeah. Well, they're all impervious to death. They all get shot.
That's true. No, did they get shot?
The hunter always shoots people and they just turn black. It's like they're shooting with like soot.
Yeah. Maybe they're immune to antique weapons.
Oh shit. That's pretty good.
We gotta find some way to end this. I think on the count of 3,
okay.
you name the worst Marvel movie.
Okay. Like from like the current
From
Iron Man
from the
to
MCU.
today.
From the MCU.
Okay.
On the count. So 3, 2, 1.
Wait. Do we count? Like, do we unanimously agree that the Hulk is the worst one and discount it?
I've never seen that movie.
Neither have I.
Well, then how can we judge it?
Because everyone hates it, and I want to be part of the hate.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, wait, I gotta
opinion.
think of what the worst one was besides Iron Man 2.
Okay.
That'd be my pick. Okay, it's between two.
So 3, 2, 1, and then say it.
Are we going on 3, 2, 1, go?
I hate this.
Okay.
No, 3, 2, 1, say it, and then that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Who's gonna count?
3.
2, 1.
Iron Man 2.
Endgame. Don't at me.
Yeah, Endgame was long. Iron Man 2 was worse.
Iron Man 2 is probably the worst one.
God,
Iron Man 3 is bad.
No, I like Iron Man 3 because Shane Black made it and I like him.
Oh.
But I did not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 either. That's very, very low for me.
Oh, wow.
Or that one with the woman.
Oh, that one.